What's up, Living Water family? I'm excited to be with you again here in John chapter 13. And we're about 8 days away from Easter, and every day we're getting closer and closer to, I guess the climax of this whole story, Jesus' death, burial, and resurrection. It's been really cool to walk through John with you guys. I've relearned a lot, reread a lot, and so I'm excited to jump in today with where Jesus washes the disciples' feet, and also where Judas had betrayed him. And so I'm going to read from John chapter 13, verses 12 through 17, and it says this: "So when he had washed their feet, taken his garments, and sat down again, he said to them, 'Do you know what I have done to you? You call me teacher and Lord, and you say, well, for so I am. If I then, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also ought to wash one another's feet. For I have given you an example that you should do as I have done to you. Most assuredly, I say to you, a servant is not greater than his master, nor is he who is sent greater than he who sent him. If you know these things, blessed are you if you do them.'" And man, just to take a moment in the situation that we're in, and I hate to keep bringing that up. I'd love to keep speaking as if we're working toward a new normal, and we are to some extent. This is normal. This quarantine feeling, this homeschool feeling is a new normal. But I can't help but in the midst of this think about how Jesus, being teacher and Lord of these disciples, how he served them. How he had been basically their leader and the one that was looked to through all of this. And he's saying, let me serve. Let me serve in a way that is considered something that some of the lowest of servants would do when people would come over to your house. It's almost kind of like, taking your coat from a guest that's come in. You take their coat and you lay it on your bed or put it in your closet or whatever. It's just something that you do as a customary thing. This is what was happening in Jesus' time. In those biblical times, is when people would come over, they would have walked wherever they'd come from, and they were clean. They had a bath, but you take a bath and go walk down a dirt road and your feet are going to be dirty, right? And so they used to basically lounge around tables. They didn't, so their feet were close to each other. They were close to the table. And so they want to clean their feet. And that was something a servant would do, a hired servant would do. And Jesus said, let me wash your feet. And it wasn't about making sure their feet were clean for supper. It wasn't about making sure that they were presentable. This is Georgia, by the way. She's going to sneak in and out. Say, Georgia. It wasn't about making sure their feet were clean so that they can be presentable for supper, but it was about Jesus saying, hey, you call me Lord, you call me teacher, and yet here I am washing your feet because I love you, because I want to serve you, because this is the most important thing that you can do. And if you remember this, you do well. If you do this is a command. You do well to do this. And so I want to challenge you guys. A lot of times we think, the pastor or maybe the teacher at class, that's the person that's leading us, and they need to wash feet. But man, this goes for dads too, right? This goes for moms. This can go for our kids. And so what are some ways that you can serve your family now during what's going on? What are some ways that you have been served? Man, if you guys are like me, my situation. Of course, I work at the church, and we're going up there 4 or 5 days a week for half days, and then coming home and doing a lot of stuff. I mean, that's where I'm at now, is at home and doing this work. And so things look different. We do different things for each other in our home. Man, my kids have stepped up and they've done some things. So they've served me. So, they didn't necessarily wash my feet, but that's what Jesus was doing here, is he was serving. So my kids, in essence, I got socks and shoes, so I don't necessarily need my feet washed, but my kids are loving on me. They're doing things to help out. They're stepping up. We've been doing a lot of yard work around here. We've been doing some stuff that we don't normally do. We've been trying to teach them how not to complain and just to enjoy what's going on. But man, I want to challenge you husbands. Pay attention. What's your wife doing? How has she been washing your feet? How has she been serving you? And how can you serve her? Because Scripture says that if we see that we need to serve as leaders of our home, if we see where we need to serve, then we do well. We do well. Jesus is going to his death, and he sets an example to us to serve, and to serve no matter what it takes. to take the form of the lowest of responsibilities in the house and to wash feet. Man, for some of you guys, that may be cleaning the toilet, that may be washing the dishes, it may be cooking dinner. Figure it out. What does it mean to wash someone's feet nowadays? It may mean literally to wash feet. I can't imagine you guys being intentional, man, grabbing some of that good smelling lotion and rubbing your wife's feet, or vice versa. Man, maybe some of you wives need to rub your husband's feet and just serve them in that way. Whatever that looks like for you, identify how it is that you're washing feet. How is it that you're serving? And then, man, take the challenge to see, maybe what if you sat down and you washed your child's feet? You washed your family's feet as a mom or a dad or a husband and a wife together. What if you washed each other's feet and just said, man, I wonder what that was like for Jesus. You know, he was at the right hand of he was with the Father in heaven, and he came down to be exactly who I needed. And one of the ways that he said that I'm going to do well in life is to be like him and to serve well. So how are you serving right now? How are you serving the people around you? How are you serving your community? How can you serve? Man, pray, call people, love on people. Go back to that list that we posted several days ago and figure out what you can do to serve people well and to wash their feet. Can't wait to see you guys soon. Man, I'm looking forward to Easter, looking forward to Sunday service coming up, and just really encouraged to continue to reach out to you guys and get to share through this reading plan. 21-day challenge in John chapter 13. See you guys soon.